Evening, Irelandspatriot. I think I might be being trolled, and you could even say fooled here, to have thought that you were a legitimate entity, because to be honest, I just thought you were true at first. I'm not sure, but definitely the suspicion has kicked in as to whether or not you're a troll. Because I just don't think someone who could work a webcam and work a computer and upload a video to YouTube could be so incompetent when it comes to other thinking in their brain. But well, just to mitigate the embarrassment, just in case you end up doing a video saying, haha, you thought I was real, you got suckered in. For the record, I suspected it could be, and here I am, airing it as a possibility, just to mitigate that embarrassment. Okay. So the first thing you say in this video is that I insulted you and didn't address anything that you said. No, that would be you, who insulted me, presuming and pulling out of your anus reasons that I was an atheist for such, inane, daft reasons. You insulted me with that presumption, and you were the one who didn't acknowledge a single one of my points in the video that you responded to. Okay? Now, as for me insulting you, no. I made a very valid criticism of your video, calling it one of the worst attractions I've ever seen. Not insulting you, though, just criticizing your argument. If you are really this delusional, then I guess that's fair game. If you said this, with a stable enough mind to have actually read that comment and to know that it wasn't an insult and to say it anyway, that would be a lie. It's somewhat irritating to me. It's nothing major though, but to this God that you believe in, it's kind of some serious shit. Not as serious as worshipping him and having no other gods before him. And no, I think it was, what's the third commandment? Like, no, not bowing down to idols and graven images, that was it. But it is still in the 10 Commandments, so you might just want to think about that. Secondly, you've disabled the comments and requested video responses to this latest video. One thing about that, to post a video response on YouTube, you kind of need to click in the comment box for that function to appear. By disabling the comments like this, what you've requested from people is actually impossible to fulfill. You might just want to know that. So now let's just, I guess, repeat myself because my comments are null and void, because apparently you need video responses. That matters more to you than comments do. So firstly, my reasons for being an atheist, some of them anyway. No, I'm not mad at God and then decided to disbelieve in him because he didn't answer my trivial prayers. I'll have you know that I did pray to God at some points for such requests as, I'll give you an example, when my cats die, can they die humanely and not be killed and not be run over by a car? That actually happened. It was the idea that you could, in reality we have constants. There are physical laws which determine the events that unfold in life. We can pray as hard as we want for God to stop this nail clipper from falling to the floor. And gravity is always going to win out on that. So it is really absurd to think that your prayer can go out into the world and actually affect reality. And I didn't come to this realization because I was let down and my prayer requests were not fulfilled. As I also mentioned in my comments, I haven't based my lack of belief in God on such self-centered reasons either. As I've said before, my life is fine. I've been dealt one of the good cards in this life, in this world. It would be the very unfortunate people and the unfortunate circumstances of animals and other sentient things that makes me disbelieve in, at the very least, a benevolent God. Of course, the fact that nature and life is brutal doesn't really disprove a God. There could be a God who has a rather sick sense of humor. Now, you said something like, the bad stuff happening, like the earthquake in Japan, that's not Jesus' fault. He can only do so much. Well, you sound like you're referring to more of a deistic God. Yeah, there could be a deistic type God who's created reality, but doesn't have full control of it, and you know, he's set the ball rolling and things are happening, and it could be sitting there going like, oh shit, what have I created? In the same way that, you know, we could create a fire and that could spill out of control and, you know, we wouldn't be able to extinguish it. But this type of deistic God isn't the God mentioned in your brand of faith. And you, as well as the Bible, which states this quite categorically, that God is all-powerful and has, you know, is the cornerstone of all events happening. Your own statement seems to suggest that he can do anything, and this is really rather ridiculous. We have a God here who can't show up and do something meaningful, like, you know, save lives in Japan and stop earthquakes and tsunamis, but who will appear to some partially inebriated young man and appear to him in a vision. That's all. I kind of dread hearing back from you because I'll just be so tempted to once again make another follow-up to your video, and well, I have a feeling you're going to come at me with some more baseless crap, like, I don't know, perhaps how I'm talking, how I'm looking, how I'm dressed. I don't know. But, you know, surprise me. Try and actually address the points I've made in the video and not other completely irrelevant bullshit. And please, just don't presume anything anymore. Okay. Good night.